Okay folks, welcome back to The Long Dark. We are literally exactly where we left off. I have just started the next video straight after the end of the last one. So we are in the gas station. It's coming up to daybreak. We're in reasonable condition now. Things didn't go particularly to plan on our little trip across from Mystery Lake to the Grey Mother's house, but we are here now and we're looking okay. We're in pretty good condition. We are still in the gas station. It is coming up to daybreak. We have got daylight, so we can come out of the gas station now and we can make our way down the high street to the Grey Mother's house, where I'm hoping I left myself a little food stash, because if I didn't, I'm going to be in real trouble. But yeah, we're back in Milton. This is fantastic. It's coming up to daylight now, so let's make our way. Hopefully we can dodge the wolves. Hopefully we can dodge the wolves. And we can get ourselves back to the Grey Mother's house. I'm trying to remember. There it is. You can see it in the distance. I'm trying to remember what I left here. I left quite a bit of stuff here. I'm carrying quite a bit of stuff. We want to get it all back here. The one issue we are going to have, though, is food. Food is where we are going to start having a problem, because food doesn't keep. So food is something that I'm having to sort out as I go along. Water stores, we can store water, that's not a problem, but food is a bit more of an issue, so that spoils pretty quickly. So I'm having to gather food as I go. I mean, ultimately what will happen, if we keep this series going for long enough, we'll have to wait and see. There's a wolf. Is that a wolf? It's moving a bit too quickly to be a wolf. That might be a rabbit. I'm not actually sure. Oh, that's... Yes, it was a rabbit, and there is a wolf attacking the rabbit. Okay, that does complicate things a little bit. I have to go in the back way, which is a little bit tricky, but it is doable. Ah, what it's like to be back. Ooh, can we... No. Come around here then. Up onto the porch. And into the house. Oh, just as we get hypothermia. Risk. Awesome, so we are back in our main base camp. This is where we started out, this is where we began stashing our stuff. And what did we leave behind? Well, we left quite a lot actually, look at that, I've forgotten what we had. Yeah, we left loads behind, didn't we? What did we leave? Oh, lots of books, lots of firewood. Awesome, okay, well let's have a quick check on our stockpile if there's anything we can leave behind. There isn't, in all honesty, because we had to leave an awful lot of it as we climbed. What else did I leave behind? I'm just trying to remember. Got even more books. Okay, so we need to start thinking about stashing stuff here, didn't we? What food did I leave? Ah, we did leave some food. Excellent, that's good. We're going to need that. And what water did we leave? Oh, quite a bit. Excellent. Okay, so that's all good. Supplies and stuff. Well, we've got lots and lots of stuff stashed away here. So I'm going to use these two tables. I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of reshuffling. So weaponry and tools and equipment I'm going to leave here. I'm going to move the jerry cans and the lantern fuel over to this table. And I'm probably going to move the torch and the spare storm lantern over here as well. I have to equip that and then put it down. Okay, so let's have a quick look then at what we have that we brought with us. So we have 2 storm lanterns. So we are going to equip that one and then we're going to put it down. So we've got ourselves a couple of storm lanterns. We've got lots and lots of knives, so I'm going to keep the best condition and I'm going to drop all of the others. And they can go over here in a big pile of knives. Yep, lots and lots of spare knives. We are not going to run out of those. We've also got a spare hatchet. We've got a rifle here, so we actually have 2 rifles as it stands at the moment, which is really good because we've got one over in Mystery Lake. We're going to drop that. I'm also going to drop the 3 whetstones. I'm going to drop that to cartridge as well. We have a hatchet, we have a knife. Good. Okay, so let's sort out that. So we have a rifle cleaning kit. Can go there. We have another flare shell. We haven't got a flare gun yet, but we've got a couple of flare shells. And then we have 3 of these whetstones, which we can keep here for sharpening all of our knives and things. And we also have some can openers, so let's get rid of again the 2 worst can openers. They can go over here as well with our other tools and equipment. Spot on. Okay, and we've got some sewing kits as well, so again I'm going to keep a couple of those and we shall pop the rest on here. I do like to lay things out because then you can really see what you've got and it looks pretty cool. So it's a bit unusual that I've got all of my firewood hidden in here. I don't normally do that. I do normally keep it laid out on the floor, but I kind of didn't this time. Oh, we've got some curing saplings here as well that I'd forgotten about. Okay, so what else are we carrying then? We've got lots of flares. I'm tempted to drop a couple of those flares and we'll leave them here. So let's pop the flares on the table with the gun. We don't need to be carrying that around too much. There we go. Okay, cool. So that's all of the equipment. Food-wise, we're going to have to restock. We have reishi mushrooms and we have some rose hips. I'm going to prepare those, so we'll sort those out in a minute. Clothing, we haven't got any spare clothing actually, didn't bring any with us. Medical supplies, again, we didn't actually bring any spare medical supplies with us. Fire starting materials, we are pretty much going to have to take all of those back, I think. We're not exactly doing brilliantly well. Although, that said, we do have a fire striker, so we probably don't need all those matches. So let's drop some of the matches. We've actually got quite a nice little stockpile of matches building up over here. Okay, there we go. And obviously in all of here we've got various bits of firewood. Food and everything's in here, water is in here. Clothing is upstairs, I think, if I recall. I don't know what else I put and where else I put it. I think I literally just put spare clothing in this cupboard. Yep. Although I don't actually have any spare clothing with me. So we've actually pretty much sorted out what we brought with us. This is all we left behind in the Grey Mother's house. I didn't actually... I left a reasonable amount. I left a rifle, for goodness sake. That's quite a good thing. But we're slowly transshipping everything over here. Right, the workbench here is actually outside, isn't it? I'm tempted to just head out and remind myself where it is. Loads of books. I'm going to worry about that. Plenty of fire starting in here. Right, okay, so let's prepare all of these various rose hips and things then. So let's go in here and let's prepare some reishi mushrooms. I know my condition is dropping slightly because I'm hungry, but don't worry about that. We're safe in here. We're not going to have any major issues. It's part of the balancing act you have to play with a long dog. If you've never played the game before...
And nothing to drink.
Yes, if you get hungry, you get thirsty, yes, your condition will start to drop. However, as long as it doesn't drop too far, or you're not planning on going anywhere or going anywhere far, it's actually okay. It's not a problem. It's best to actually let yourself starve for a bit. The tactic I tend to use is let yourself starve during the day. Your condition will drop. That's fine, not a problem. Your condition is going to drop, so long as you're not making a big travel. If you're going to have a big journey, yeah, okay, you don't want your condition to drop, so keep yourself well fed. But if you are not going to be having a big journey, you're just going to be... well, we haven't quite gone on one's bit. If you aren't going to have a big journey, you're going to be inside the building, or you're going to have a relatively sort of little potter about outside, if you like. Stay relatively close to your base camp. Don't worry about that. Thirst, yes. If you get thirsty, you probably do want to drink, because that drops your condition very quickly. But if you're only hungry, stay hungry. Don't worry about having to constantly eat. Your condition will drop. It will drop slowly. As long as it doesn't drop too far. I mean, mine at the moment is about 80%, I think. 77%. That's absolutely fine. If it drops anything below 50, yes, you need to eat to stop it dropping any lower, and you need to sleep to recover it. The tactic I tend to use is let yourself starve during the day. Before you go to bed, eat. Make sure you have enough calories to get through the night. Sleep through the night. So long as your all four of those gauges stay in the white, so you have enough calories to get through the night, your condition will recover overnight, and you'll wake up in the morning starving again, but at 100% condition, and start the cycle over again. That's my tactic. You've probably seen me do that if you watch it. That's the tactic that I use, and it works quite well. Just saves on food, because food is one of the most precious supplies in the Long Dark. Water is easy to get hold of. Water is not a problem, but food, that is a problem. You don't get tons of it in the Long Dark. Okay, so we've got plenty of prepared reishi mushrooms. If I go in here, I've got loads of prepared reishi mushrooms in my food store. I mean, I'm actually not doing too bad for food, to be fair. I've probably got enough to get me back. I've got enough food and I've got enough water. I've probably got enough to get me back. I don't really want to take food from here if I can avoid it, because it's kind of... I don't want to come back here on one trip and find myself with no food. So if I can get away without taking any, that's probably better. Water's okay, but food I'd rather not. Let's transfer these prepared reishi mushrooms. They're actually medicine, but they do give you calories, so I tend to think of them as a good food source. We need a fire to do anything useful with them. I'm also going to drop... Oops, not into there though. I don't know where I've been storing my general kind of supplies. I think I'm going to use one of these cupboards. Let's use... Aha, that is where I've been storing them. Excellent. Let's just drop those in there, because I haven't got enough. And we'll drop one of those emergency stems. We don't need to be carrying two of those around. Okay, cool. Have I been storing anything else anyway? It's a shame you can't label the cupboards like you can in Subnautica. You remember what you've put where. Okay, so we're actually looking pretty good. So we are going to be doing a pretty long journey here. We're quite tired. I'm trying to decide what the best strategy is going to be, because part of me kind of wants to get going again. Part of me kind of wants to head back to Mystery Lake, because obviously that's where the bulk of our stuff is, and we need to get the next shipment, if you like. Go get some more and bring it back here. But equally, it's not bad travelling weather either, actually. But equally, I am pretty tired. I do also want to just look for the workbench, because I know there is a workbench associated with this. Yes, no, where is it? There is definitely a workbench here somewhere. I always thought it was in there, but it's not. There is definitely a workbench knocking about in Milton somewhere. It could be in the gas station, actually. It could be it is actually in the gas station. So if we want to do any crafting, the gas station's the place to be. Well, I think we're okay to make our move to get back at least to the gas station, even if we don't go any further at the moment. We are in a position where we can get food on this map, by the way, by hunting. So there are deer around. We have got a rifle here. We can hunt for food, but I don't want to leave that food behind. I'd rather kind of do that when I'm going to stay here for a few days, because that food will spoil by the time I get back. I'll have lost it. So that might be worth doing if I'm going to stay for a few days. Well, that's just typical. There is a wolf right by the gas station, right where we're going. I just want to go in the gas station really and just look to see if I'm right and if there is actually a workbench in there. Okay, hopefully that wolf will keep walking that way. Okay, I'm also conscious that I don't have a massive amount of firewood to be heading back with. Hopefully I'm not going to end up needing it going this way, but just in case. We'll pick up some sticks and at least we've got something. Oh, it's starting to fog over. woodlot. So this is actually a location. Ooh, not good. Oh dear. That made me jump. Okay, so basically what happened there, the wolf turned round. Whew, that actually made me jump. My heart rate skyrocketed. Okay, as you can probably tell, what I'm doing is running this way in the hope of getting away from my furry not-so-friend and getting up to the hut. This could go dramatically wrong, given that it's gone foggy. This could go dramatically wrong. Hello, wolf. Wolfie, wolfie, wolfie. Let's try not to get lost now. I think this is the way. This is a path. So I'm very much hoping that this is the right way to get. There it is. There's the hut. That's what I'm aiming for. Excellent. Whew. Okay, well the wolves there kind of changed the plan. I was going to go into the gas station, but I've wound up here instead. Which is not quite where I was aiming for, but never mind. At least we are safe. Because ultimately I don't believe the wolf can get in here. In reality it could, but in the game I don't think it can. And we have got plenty of things to do. We can actually break down these various things. This will give us a stock of firewood, which I'm going to leave behind here. I'm not going to take it with me. I'm going to leave it here. Because this is my kind of emergency bolt hole. Once I've climbed up from the... Seriously, I only got 3 bits of reclaimed wood from that. That's just naff. I thought I would have got more than that. Ah, okay. Had it not gone foggy, I would have carried on. But as it's gone foggy, I'm a little bit reluctant to. Okay, let's... I'm gonna just eat a cattail. Just to give myself some calories, just to hold us off a little bit. It's a bit awkward, this. Because I wanted to try and get back to Mystery Lake, get back on the path and get to Mystery Lake. So the plans for this trip have kind of gone awry. We've left Milton, or we've left the Grey Mother's house. We've dropped off everything that we planned to drop off. And we are coming back, we're heading back. I was going to drop into the gas station just to see if there was a workbench in there, but that's kind of gone a bit wrong because of that wolf. And now, I'm stranded. Okay, I'm going to do 4 hours of sleep. We should be okay with 4 hours of sleep. It shouldn't go cold enough to cause us a problem within 4 hours. There we go. Oh, and it's cleared up. Excellent. Okay, so we are now less fatigued. Our conditions recovered. The temperature is really good.
So hungry.
Yes, we're hungry, but that's not an issue. I can just have a little bit of food just to stop our condition dropping any more while we're doing our journey. There's a deer down there, so we should be okay. Let's head this way then. It's cleared up. It's heading into night time. I want to get back to the caves if I can. That's kind of got to be the plan for this. The end of this video. We should be okay because we shouldn't be too heavily encumbered by the time we get there. It's still quite misty, but hopefully we should be okay. Let's head down the rope then. There's our 2 fires down at the bottom. Climbing ropes really does get you really fatigued, so this journey is actually quite challenging because you've got to go up and down ropes. But really, I want to try and get back to Trapper's cabin before the end of this video if I can. Because then we'll have done our first relay back to the Grey Mother's house and dropped off our first load of stuff. And I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do next is grab all of the hides and the pelts. Oh, that wolf is still there. Right bang where we need to go. Okay, kind of hoping I might be able to skirt round it if I head further this way. Don't really want to... Sometimes this is the best strategy with wolves. If you've... Again, if you're new to the game, if you've never played it, this is not a first-person shooter. It is a survival game. Sometimes the best strategy is avoidance. It's not the kind of game where you go in all guns blazing. Because let's face it, the rifle is a hunting rifle. It's got 7 rounds in it or so. And rifle ammunition is pretty scarce. There isn't that much of it in the world. If you waste it, you're going to run out of food very quickly because you're not going to be able to bring deer down. So you definitely don't want to go in all guns blazing. The rifle is a hunting weapon, not a defensive weapon. You don't use it to fight wolves off, as a general rule, unless it really is a last-ditch attempt. Okay, cool. So we made it past that wolf. Avoidance being the best strategy. Okay, hopefully we can get up this rope. It's as long as the other rope. We should, I hope, be okay. It's going to be a little bit close, but we should be fine. We're only just hitting halfway on our climb meter, and we're virtually at the top. We are going to slow, but I think we're going to make it. It's going to be pretty tight, but I think we're going to be okay. Come on, we can do this. We are at the top now. Come on. That's it. Perfect. Come on. Come on. Don't stop now. We're there. We're there. Ooh. Alright, that's knocked us for 6. Let's pick these 2 books up then. They're the ones we left behind before. Pick up another stick. We're pretty tired now. We're pretty heavily encumbered, but I'd rather get to the caves. If I'm going to camp and sleep at all, I'd rather get to the caves to do it rather than do it out in the open. Right, it's going to go really cold. So we'll head back up the path, cross over this way and head back towards the cave. Yep, that's the plan. We are going to find a place to rest. And again, I'm hoping the game audio is recording. It's one of those things, because I've only got one monitor, I can't keep an eye on the recording software to see what it's actually doing. I kind of just have to do it blind and hope it's working. I used to have 2 monitors. When I first started making Long Dark videos, I used to have 2 monitors. And I used to always have the recording software open on the second monitor so that I could see what it was doing and make sure it was working. But I can't do that now because I've only got one monitor. It's a much better monitor, but I've only got the one, and that is a bit of a problem. Okay, so back past the waterfall then. There are some cattails here, but I'm going to leave them. I think I've decided I'm going to leave these cattails behind as a kind of emergency food source. Because again, this is a question, I keep saying it, I keep meaning to check it on the forums and actually ask that question. Is whether things like cattails and reishi mushrooms and things, whether they actually regenerate over time when you harvest them. So if you harvest them, do they grow back? It's basically the question I keep meaning to try and find an answer to. Hopefully one of these days I'll remember to do it. Okay, here we go. We're almost back at the cave now. So we're very, very close. Once we get inside the cave, we can probably rest. I'll try and get to that campfire. If you remember on the way the other way, there was a campfire about halfway through the cave. So I'm going to try and get to that campfire. Just because it's there and I can relight it. Okay, so we are back in the cave. We are out of the cold. We are well on the way back to Trapper's cabin. We are incredibly tired. And we are incredibly hungry. It's taken a heck of a lot out of us this trip. But we are now back in the warm. So I just need to get to that campfire. Oh yes, and we were going to pick the coal up as well, weren't we? I forgot about that. Let's just light the storm lantern just so that you guys can see what's happening. I can actually see where I'm going, but I know the videos tend to come out a bit darker than the actual gameplay on my screen. So I'm going to put this on so that you guys can see what's happening. We're going to pick up bits of coal. I'm not going to go out of my way to find it, but if it's right in front of me, I'm going to pick it up, and we're going to take it back to Trapper's cabin. And the reason for that is that we're going to need coal in the forge. And the forge is over on Forlorn Muskeg, and we are going to use that to make some arrowheads in the hope that we can make some arrows fairly soon. We've got all the bits to make a bow, and we've got all the bits to make arrows, so I'm hoping if I can make use of my forge to make some arrowheads, that's the last bit of the jigsaw, we can make a bow and arrow. Bow and arrows. Okay, so let's relight this campfire then. So I'm going to use a book, I'm going to use a fire striker, and I'm going to use a cattail as tinder. And we have a 100% chance of success, which is always a good thing. So that means it's definitely going to light. And we are coming to the end of this video as well, looking at the clock. So I think what I'm going to do, we'll get this fire lit, we'll... The only reason I'm lighting this fire, by the way, is... well, so you can see. There is actually no reason for me to light this fire. It has just... that I completely did not think there. I don't actually need to light this fire. There is no need for me to light this fire because I am not freezing in here. It's 16 degrees. I don't need to light the fire. It's more just a light source so that you guys can see what's happening. But yes, we are here. We are well on the way back to Trapper's cabin. We literally just have to walk out the cave and walk back into Trapper's cabin. So we are virtually there. So yeah, we've made our first trip over to Milton. We've dropped off the first load of supplies at the Grey Mother's house. And we are ready to make our second trip. So I think on the second trip we're going to pick up all the pelts, all the hides that we can carry, and we're then going to make our way back. But this time we're going to have a slightly different strategy. We're going to be a bit more careful with what we're doing. I'm going to go into the gas station, see if the workbench is there. If there is a workbench in the gas station, I am going to leave all the pelts and all the hides. That fire's about to go out. I'm going to leave all the pelts and all the hides in the gas station rather than take them to Grey Mother's house, simply because that's where the workbench is. So there's no point dragging them all the way one way to drag them all the way back again. So we may as well leave them there. If there isn't a workbench there, though, the only workbench I think there's going to be is down in the farmhouse, which is a bit of a nuisance because that's even further away. But we'll take that one as it comes. I honestly can't remember. There probably is in the gas station. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, next time around then, we'll head back to Trapper's cabin. We'll grab some more stuff. We'll go back to Milton. We'll drop it all off. Or we might go to Forlorn Muskeg and see if we can use the forge. Interesting.
I just need to close my eyes.
Yes. Do you know what? Rather than do another trip to Milton, we'll go to Forlorn Muskeg and we'll see if we can use the forge, or if we can head over to the Broken Railroad, the new region that we haven't really explored yet. Although I think I'm going to need some better clothing before I venture that far. That's quite a walk. So I think what I'm going to do, we'll see if we can go to Forlorn Muskeg. We'll see if we can make our way across Forlorn Muskeg. We'll stockpile some supplies, make sure we're all set to do that trek. We'll do that trek to Forlorn Muskeg. We'll try and use the forge. We'll try and make some arrowheads. We'll come back to Trapper's cabin, by which point hopefully everything will have cured. We can start thinking about making some animal skin clothing there. Then we can head to Broken Railroad, see what we've got in Broken Railroad, and then make our way back with all of our goodies to the Grey Mother's house and start taking stock. I think that's a plan. That sounds like a plan. That will keep us going for a bit. Because what day are we on in our Long Dark Odyssey? We're on day 20? We're on day 20? Yep, 20 days in the Long Dark. So we're actually doing pretty well. We are a fifth of the way to our 100-day goal. And of course, if we can go beyond the 100 days, that'd be even better. But right now, I am going to say thank you, as always, for joining me for the Long Dark. As always, it's fun making these videos, playing the game, sharing it with you, and I hope you're picking up some tips and tricks along the way from watching the gameplay. Any questions, any comments, stick them in the comment section below. I am always happy to help if you're new to the game and you need some advice. So I'm going to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.